This afternoon on 13 Web News at midday, the record number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits last week. And stranded at sea, the wait to dock for hundreds of passengers, including a Rochester couple on board a virus-stricken cruise ship. And we have the latest breakdown of coronavirus cases as the virus now sweeps across the entire state. We begin with breaking news this midday. Former Congressman Chris Collins will not have to report to prison for 2 months. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexis Arnold. A judge has approved Collins' 2-month reprieve from imprisonment because of the coronavirus outbreak, citing Collins' age and additional risk factors. Collins, who resigned from his congressional seat back in September, pleaded guilty to insider trading and lying to the FBI. In January, he was sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. He must now report to prison on June 23rd. Well, new this midday, every county in New York State now has a case of coronavirus. There are now over 92,000 cases in total. More than 8,000 of those cases are new, and there are now more than 2,000 deaths reported in the state. This as New York State prepares for the apex, or expected surge of cases, in the coming weeks.
It makes it difficult to plan, frankly, because 7 to 30 days is a long window. And we are literally planning on a day-to-day basis, deploying assets on a day-to-day basis. We believe it is closer to the shorter end of the range.
Governor Cuomo says staff, along with supplies, are desperately needed. So far, at least 21,000 healthcare workers from out of state have volunteered to help at New York hospitals. The governor asking anyone with information about supplies to email COVID-19 supplies at esd.ny.gov. Across the country, more than 5,000 deaths have been reported from COVID-19. At least 45 states are now imposing stay-at-home restrictions. This as the national stockpile of personal protective gear for healthcare workers is nearly depleted. The New York Times reported the contract to maintain the government stockpile lapsed last summer, and that led to a new firm not starting its work until January. That virus is expected to kill tens of thousands of Americans in the coming weeks.
Difficult days are ahead for our nation. We're going to have a couple of weeks starting pretty much now, but especially a few days from now, that are going to be horrific.
Vice President Mike Pence says he expects the worst of the pandemic will be over by Memorial Day, which is still about 2 months away. More than 6 million people filed for unemployment benefits last week. Economists had expected around 3 million claims. The numbers broke the record amount of claims filed 2 weeks ago. It comes as businesses continue to lay off and furlough workers amid the coronavirus outbreak. New this midday, New York State has added real estate to the list of essential businesses not impacted by the statewide pause on a majority of employers. Realtors can now do appraisal services and home inspections, but are asked to do any back office real estate work from home. And the city of Rochester is hitting pause on bulk pickup amid the coronavirus outbreak. They will not be picking up bulk refuse for the immediate future. The city says normal garbage and recycling will remain on schedule, but in order for it to be collected, all materials must fit in a resident's garbage and recycling totes. Happening later today, an announcement coming from Wegmans this afternoon. It's going to give an update on its policies during the COVID-19 pandemic. That updated schedule for 2 this afternoon. We'll have a coverage on 13wham.com and on 13wham News at 5. Well, now to a breakdown of cases in our area. Monroe County has 359 cases with 9 deaths reported. Steuben County now has 40 cases. Ontario has 28 and Wayne has 24. Other deaths reported, 1 each in Genesee, Livingston, and Wyoming counties. We have a full breakdown of cases on 13wham.com, and we'll get an update on those cases later today. A New York ICU doctor on the front line of battle against COVID-19 is helping to inform people from across the country about the virus, and he's doing it through the app Zoom, providing facts about the disease and what people can do to stay safe.
Doctors like myself are in a very unique position to actually empower people right now. And what I mean by empower is to learn about this disease.
Dr. Price says about 10% of people who get the disease need hospital care, and the large majority of hospitalized patients do recover. Another world leader is under self-isolation amid the coronavirus pandemic. Israel's prime minister is self-isolating until next Wednesday after the country's health minister tested positive for the coronavirus. Many other senior Israeli officials are also expected to go into immediate self-quarantine. Right now, hundreds of passengers on the virus-stricken Zandam and its sister ship are now just off the coast of Florida, waiting for confirmation that they can dock. Among them, a Rochester couple. They've been on that cruise ship since March 7th. 4 passengers have died and more than 200 people are reporting flu-like symptoms. Sailors who tested negative for COVID-19 on the USS Roosevelt are expected to disembark within the next 24 hours. The sailors will have to stay in quarantine at a hotel in Guam for 14 days. Guam's governor defended the decision to let the sailors leave the craft, saying she wanted to help them stay well. And we want to remind you to join 13 WHAM and its partners, Sinclair Cares and the Salvation Army, to help the Your Neighbor Needs You campaign. Money raised will help those impacted financially by the COVID-19 crisis. That money stays local. Head to foxrochester.com to find out how you can help. Some other news this midday. A man faces charges in a fatal shooting on Rochester's east side. Police say 26-year-old Tyler Ahauso shot and killed a 47-year-old man in a parking lot on Alexander Street. That happening around 6 o'clock last night. Police believe it stemmed from an argument between the two. Ahauso is charged with manslaughter. Police say they've caught a suspect in multiple home invasions after a traffic stop in Pursuit last night. Police say they tried to stop the suspect's car on North Clinton Avenue, but the driver did not pull over, leading police on a 12-minute-long chase. The suspect then crashed into an RPD patrol vehicle on West Ridge Road. That suspect was treated for a bite wound from a police canine.